Ladies and gentlemen, it's time to start your engines this morning because a brand new racing series is being built from the ground up right here in the Queen City, and it'll actually be ready to launch this summer.
Fox 46's Brett Baldack is live from the NASCAR Hall of Fame with more on the familiar racing names behind this project. And Brett, we all know you are super excited.
Yeah, I am, and we know the reason that we're here at the NASCAR Hall of Fame is because two Hall of Fame members are behind this series, Tony Stewart and Ray Evernham. Now, many of you who don't watch racing may not know who Ray Evernham is, but as you're about to learn, his resume makes him more than qualified to start his own racing series. Ray Evernham is a familiar face in motorsports. He won 3 championships as crew chief with Jeff Gordon. And he launched his own NASCAR team in 2001. Now Evernham is adding to his already impressive resume by launching a racing series.
This is where I started. I started at IROC. I worked for Roger Penske and Jay Signori several years ago, and it was one of the most incredible experiences in my life. And I've always wanted to be part of something like that again.
IROC, known as the International Race of Champions, competed with drivers from across motorsports in equally prepared cars. Evernham and Tony Stewart's superstar racing experience will do the same in specially designed cars that will look somewhat similar to this rendering. Starting a series from scratch has presented some challenges.
Nothing like it has ever been accomplished before. So when I'm doing something, I'm thinking, man, I don't really know how long that'll take or how much it's going to cost. So there's been a lot of behind-the-scenes budgeting, if you will.
The series will visit 6 tracks, not big venues like Daytona or Indianapolis, but grassroots tracks like Nashville Fairgrounds in Tennessee.
It is a true, legitimate motorsports competition, but it's really about entertainment. This is motorsports entertainment, and we hope to entertain enough people that they want to watch it on Saturday night. We're going to be your Saturday night, 6-week in a row racing soap opera, if you will.
Now, this series will premiere this summer in June and will be broadcast on national television. And Ray Evernham tells me they're trying to get involved and have some celebrities and athletes lined up to be involved in the broadcast to try and bring in some people that maybe wouldn't watch racing typically. And Morgan, I don't know who you listen to for music, but I don't know if he invited maybe a Rihanna or a Justin Bieber or whoever's hip and cool right now to be on the broadcast. Oh, Beyonce. Yeah. Maybe you would watch if someone cool like that was on there, so we'll see.
I certainly would, and I know at 8 you're going to be talking about how you know, the community can get involved in this as well. I tend to have a lead foot, Brett, so maybe I could, you know, drive. So I don't know. We'll see. I tend to do about 90 on 85 on the way to work. So sorry, Highway Patrol, please don't come get me. I do have to ask you though, Brett. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off there.
I was going to say, it's funny that you mentioned, you know, that you want to become part of the series, but that's what we're going to talk about at 8 is there is an opportunity for some people who aren't necessarily superstars yet to be involved with this racing series, and we'll explain that coming up at 8 o'clock, as well as how fans can get tickets and how they're kind of navigating this through the COVID-19 pandemic, because this was planned well before this pandemic happened, Morgan.
Yeah, keyword yet. I do need to ask you, Brett, who are some of the drivers that will compete? Are they people that we know? And then also the big question I think a lot of our viewers want to know, because you're at the NASCAR Hall of Fame, is this associated with NASCAR at all?
So first, let me answer that last question. It's technically not associated with NASCAR at all. This is a standalone series, but Ray tells me the goal is to work with NASCAR, with IndyCar, with NHRA, with all these different motorsports to bring all of these drivers from these different venues together in one racing series and kind of unite the motorsports world with one series. And some of the drivers that you'll see in the series this summer is Paul Tracy he's a former IndyCar driver, as I mentioned before, Elio Castroneves, who's won the Indianapolis 500. He's also won Dancing with the Stars. So a lot of people may know that name. And I'm also told by Ray that there has been so much enthusiasm about this series as they've already had drivers calling, wanting to be a part of the series, but the schedule and the roster is already full. So they're already planning for a second season of this series.
Okay.